Justin Bieber had a post the other day on his Instagram talking about all the drugs that he did when he was younger and how much it fucked him up, and now he's got a relationship with the Lord, and he's got, you know, he's married and he's trying to be a normal person.
Yeah.
But he's struggling with the fact that he was insanely famous when he was a kid.
You know, Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, you know, he could buy you one also while you're out.
He got me a Lamborghini.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Oh, apparently not.
Something.
Months ago, I was really struggling mentally and emotionally, and just there was so many things that were adding up, and I wasn't able to enjoy any of the things that I owned.
That stuff's not gonna matter to you.
None of the actual things did anything because I was so hurt and I was so confused and I was so sick, and there was all these things, and I was like...
We had seen these videos of Justin Bieber being handed over to him at age 15. Great job. Great job. For his weekend with Diddy camp. I mean, we don't know, but it certainly looks like Justin Bieber is still suffering the fallout from whatever happened to him as he was coming up the ranks of the music world. It really doesn't seem worth it. I mean, I'd love to hear more from his camp about what's real, because it's clear he's suffering. We just don't know from what. And what mother out there would give her 15-year-old boy over to a grown man who's in the rap industry for a weekend with Diddy camp without other adult supervision?
Going through these lawsuits and Diddy is in prison, we are recognizing that everybody knew this was an open secret about what Diddy was doing. So it just begs the question, who allowed Justin Bieber to be in the presence of this man, knowing what he was up to, allegedly up to? That seems...
It's hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, you know, telling me they love me and, you know, just turn their back on you.
He did an interview back in 2020 with Zane Lowe. I think this was on Apple Music. And he was speaking about another young artist that was coming up, Billie Eilish, and Eilish. And he was basically speaking about how he wanted to protect her because she was now another young person, a rising artist in the industry. And sort of out of nowhere, he became quite overcome with emotion.
The you of then was on a path of self-destruction.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would have, for sure, 100%. Yeah. It would have been no bueno. It was bad. I don't know if I'd be alive, for sure. It was dark. So I'm very, very grateful to have influences in my life that have played a huge part in me seeing their relationship with Jesus and their relationship with their wives and their relationship with their kids, and saying that's what I want. But I want to definitely tell my story so that if that resonates to anybody, that they can hopefully... But yeah, just protecting those moments, because people take for granted encounters and...
Joe Rogan just went off, and he's not holding back. On his latest podcast episode, Joe Rogan didn't mince words. He played the now viral clip of Justin Bieber finally breaking his silence on Diddy, and as soon as the video ended, Joe sat back, shook his head, and said, "That right there. That's the most disturbing thing I've ever heard about this industry." No jokes, no laughs. Joe was dead serious. Justin's confession shook the world, but Joe's reaction? That took it to a whole new level. Because Joe didn't just believe Justin. He broke it all down, step by step, name by name. And by the time the episode was over, it was clear. Diddy wasn't just in trouble. He was finished. Joe started by playing Justin's now infamous quote, "There were people in this industry who tried to own me. I'm talking about Sean Combs." Joe paused. "That's not a metaphor," he said. "That's a kid saying he was owned, controlled. And nobody said a damn thing about it for over a decade."
What's going on with you guys? Are you working together?
I'm not. I mean, I think that we become friends in a strange way, you know?
Like Robin Big.
Yeah, it's like, exactly.
I'm big and you're Robin.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, to a lot of us, he's like a little brother. You know what I'm saying? He's not afraid to call and ask for advice. He's somebody that, in the industry-wise, the record industry is a strong family, and he's somebody that, you know, we definitely have our arms around, and we want to protect him because he's such genuinely a nice person besides his talent. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the greatest kids that you could have.
Joe leaned in toward the MIC and said, "Let me tell you something. If Justin Bieber wasn't famous, we'd be hearing about this in a courtroom. But because he is famous, they all looked the other way." Then he asked the question everyone had on their minds, how many others are there? But Joe didn't stop there. He pulled up more clips. Justin talking about being taken to strange parties, being isolated, having no phone, and feeling like he couldn't leave. Joe didn't hold back. You know what that is? That's grooming. That's manipulation. That's not mentorship. That's entrapment. And he was furious. "I've talked to a lot of people over the years," Joe said. "Athletes, actors, musicians, and every now and then, one of them says something about Diddy that just sounds off. But nobody ever pushed. Now we know why." Joe then played a chilling part of the podcast where Justin recalled Diddy calling him late at night, threatening him, warning him to stay silent. Joe's face dropped. "That's a kid getting a death threat," he said. "That's power being abused. Abused at the highest level." That's what Joe Rogan called it. One of the ugliest open secrets in the entertainment industry. Then, Joe started naming names. He pulled up an old clip of Diddy on another talk show, bragging about mentoring Bieber. Diddy had said something like, "I'm going to give him the bad boy experience." Back then, it sounded playful. But now, Joe said that line has an entirely different meaning, and it's horrifying. Then Joe asked the question nobody wants to answer. Where were the adults? Where were the people around Justin who were supposed to protect him? He started connecting the dots. Cassie, Usher, the secret parties, the NDAs, the leaked footage. This isn't one person making a random accusation, Joe said. This is a domino effect, people finally speaking out. And then he looked right into the camera. If you still think this is just a conspiracy, you're not paying attention. Then, Joe did something rare. He got emotional. He told his audience he had met Justin once, years ago. Said he was quiet, polite. And then he paused, visibly shaken. Justin was clearly dealing with a lot, and Joe acknowledged it. Now I see. That wasn't just the path to fame. That was trauma. Joe pointed to Justin's years of public struggles, the addiction, the breakdowns, the cancellations, and asked the question no one wanted to face. We all watched him fall apart, but we never asked why. What if the answer was always Diddy? Then Joe brought up Cass's court testimony. He played the haunting moment where she said, "Diddy threatened my life. Said he'd cut me up." Joe leaned into the MIC. It's the same tactics, the same fear, the same manipulation. The only difference? Justin lived to tell it. Honor MIC. That's when his co-host asked the big question. Do you think Justin will actually testify? Joe didn't even flinch. I think he has to, he said. Not just for himself, but for everyone still too afraid to speak. Then came the warning shot. Joe looked straight ahead and said, if the feds are serious about this case, they better put Diddy in cuffs. Because if they don't, this won't stop. Put him in handcuffs, because the second someone that powerful gets desperate, they'll do anything to make this disappear. Joe didn't hold back. He called on other celebrities to step up. Where's Usher? He asked. Where's everyone else who knew something wasn't right? This wasn't just a reaction. It was a call-out. Joe went after the entire music industry. This is why people don't trust Hollywood, he said. Because for years, the biggest names covered for guys like Diddy. They let him throw those parties. Let him sign kids. Let him walk around like a god. And now we're supposed to act shocked? He scoffed. They all knew. Joe started dropping more names, people he didn't directly accuse, but heavily implied were part of Diddy's inner circle. There are people scrubbing their social media right now, he said. Deleting photos, unfollowing accounts, pretending like they were never involved. Too late. That's what Joe Rogan said. because the collapse had already begun. Cass's testimony? Just the beginning. Justin's podcast? The tipping point. This isn't just a legal case anymore, Joe said. It's a cultural one. And then he delivered the moment that silenced the room. If Justin Bieber can say, "This man hurt me," and we still ignore it, then we deserve whatever comes next. He ended the episode with a chilling line, "Diddy's done. And if the industry doesn't clean house, they're all going down with him." That was the truth. Justin Bieber wasn't out for revenge. He didn't cry for pity. He just told the truth. And Joe Rogan? He amplified it. Now, the whole world is listening.